Wow, I should have coughed before I start my replay. I'll keep that on there. Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Echuchee, me versus CheetahPower, and finally Bnetisjewish. I'm just gonna call him Bnet. So we have Bnet down over here, we have Cheetah up here, we have Crota at there, and finally we have my new 2v2 partner currently because Enric seems to be MIA, Echuchee. So Echuchee is a Protoss player. Some of you guys may remember Echuchee's name. I played him on Desert Oasis. It was like a 1v1 matchup, and he turtled up, or I turtled into my base and then was able to drop and base race him and basically tear in lift off for the win. Right, already off the start, when you see that Bnetisjewish is already going for a very, very fast barracks and going for that Reaper rush. Taking a look at my base as well, he's also getting that gas a little bit earlier than I would normally go. So that's going to be a very, very fast, very, very effective Reaper rush. And that Reaper rush, well, that barracks is really down really quickly as well. That barracks probably put down around the 8 supply time in order to get that barracks up that early, and now already getting that tech lab. So taking a look at Bnetijewish's harvesters, he only has 7 harvesters compared to my 10, and I'm also doing a Reaper rush compared, and taking a look at Cheetah, who has 14, and Echuchee sitting at 12. Wow, so much more action in a 2v2 matchup. Barracks also now, Barracks going to be completed and now going to go for that very, very early Reaper. So Reaper off of his 9th supply. So that is a very, very fast Reaper rush. Down over here, I'm getting my tech lab down. So my tech lab is about 40 or 25 units of time slower. So that means that he will not be able to get that up nearly as quickly. I think my Reaper rush is also a little bit late for some reason. So this is not a good representation of how fast I can rush the Reapers as well. So 25 units of time, a little bit slower, but I do have a better economy, and I also have a supply depot, which he does not have. He's going for 2 Reapers, and he still is not building a supply depot yet. Perhaps he's thinking about going for an orbital command. No, finally building that supply depot, and going to be a little bit late. Reaper is now just running around and gonna go ahead and hop onto that high ground and perhaps try to come into my base position. No, just gonna sit there. So that is not coming into the base. So rushing to Reapers only to act as another scout, that is going to be a very, very definite slow for Echuchee. Echuchee now warping in the cybernetics core, needs to save up some energy for that chrono boost in order to get that very, very fast unit. Bnetisjewish also getting, Bnet now getting these Reapers on this high ground. These Reapers on this high ground will be able to keep track of the map fairly well throughout the whole entire game. We have a fast hatchery coming in from CheetahPower. So in this 2v2 matchup, both players, or all 4 players, are just trying to macro up a very large army. I'm sitting on a 150, Echuchee sitting on 200, 150, and 100. So everyone just pretty much doing the same exact, or fairly similar things. I go for a second barracks in order to be able to produce units much more quickly. And I'm keeping my Marauders over here, is suspecting that perhaps he may try to Reaper rush me. A Marauder is a very strong counter against those Reapers, as those Reapers only deal essentially 6 damage a shot against a Marauder. The double pistol action only affects light. So if you're, and then once you count in the armor, instead of dealing 18 damage against a light unit, you do a 6 damage against a Marauder, which already has 120 hit points, which is fairly effective. 3 Reapers now going to come in. I already have 2 Marauders coming in here as well, and those Marauders now just going to be able to do a couple quick hits and then take down one of those Reapers. So those Reapers not very effective. He waited too long to get them, and because he waited that long, those Reapers are not going to be nearly as damaging, and he is now significantly behind economically, only producing off of a single barracks with those 3 Reapers. Coming back into my base, I have 2 barracks currently up and running. I believe I'm getting the concussive shell research as well for those Marauders in order to be able to kite out units and also make them more effective against Zerglings. If you can hit the front leading Zergling, those Zerglings start to get choked up on each other and not really able to come back around. I will go ahead and move a Reaper to this high ground because this Overlord was hiding on this high ground. When the Overlord hides on that high ground, units from that low ground cannot see it. Even though there were zealots activating that Zelnaga watchtower, we were unable to watch that. So come in, we have a single stalker, 2 stalkers, 2 zealots for that army. Army-wise, we have 2 zealots, 2 stalkers. My army composed of 6 Marauders, 1 Reaper. And taking a look at what CheetahPowers and Bnets, it's just 3 Reapers, 2 Marauders, and then 14 Zerglings. So not looking too comfortable at this stage in the game. More Reapers just going to go ahead and try to get regrouped, acclimated. Bnetisjewish finally getting that second barracks, and the economy hit that he did to be able to rush to those Reapers finally showing up and finally showing how strong this army is in fact, or how weak that army is in fact. going to be. Now, I have a single Reaper in here. That Reaper is really there to try to handle the Zerglings. The Reaper going to be dealing the most damage towards those Zerglings out of any of these units here. Maybe the Zealots will be able to get a couple of hits as well if they get a Forge upgrade, but no Forge upgrade that I can see. And now we have Observers joining in on this fight. So Reaper continuing to try to do a little bit of a more fighting and more engagement here. I'm going to go ahead and use these Marauders. Marauders quickly making short work of these Zerglings. So Zerglings getting taken down. Over here on this backside, however, Reapers unable to really engage. Marauders now going to go ahead and take down a couple of these units over here. But however, I have a fair number of Marauders, and those Marauders with those Reapers will be able to push back against these units, trying to lead these units down over here in making sure that there's no reinforcements. However, there's already a fairly destructible force already in this position, and those Marauders dealing 20 damage a shot will be able to focus down those units fairly easily. Now taking down that last Roach and coming back up. A Reaper with 6 kills, the Stalkers getting in a couple kills as well, and then Bnet saying, I have no idea what Blue was doing, and GG. So this is the Bnet now going to go ahead and pull back out, trying to take down some of these Roaches. Large amount of Marauders. Marauder just able to focus down these units. Want to just continue to push. We're waiting for some sort of push to come back from Echuchee. Echuchee going to lose a couple of those, or lose that Immortal and that single sentry. Marauders and Reapers now coming in, perhaps going to try to come into this position, and now Echuchee for some reason getting an expansion during this whole entire very, very heavy rushes is not going to be that good, and one single pylon operating one of these gateways, there is a little bit of a double up over here. So these one gateway now no longer, or one warp gate no longer operational. Second warp gate now going to be brought in the taken down as well. We have a single Immortal. Immortal going to try to focus down some of these Marauders. Marauders trying to do that little bit of that hit and run, but without that concussive shell, not very, very strong with it. Reapers now trying to continue to push in. I'm going to go ahead and move in with a large amount of Marauders as well, coming in from this backside, and now just finish off the rest of these Reapers. One Marauder down to 1 hit point, and down it goes. So leaving these Marauders over here, we're going to go ahead and finish off this base. And here's this how fast this game can really go in a 2v2 game. 2v2 games generally have a lot of macroing of tier 1 units. If you can balance your macro with your tech, you can start to get for siege tanks and tier 2. Sometimes on the other maps like Twilight Fortress, you will occasionally see some tier 3 units as well. But with already Cheetah out of the game, pretty much trying to make sure that he loses all of these larvae down here so that he can't build any additional drones for hatcheries. Unbeknownst to us, he has a large amount of drones taking down these destructible rocks. Just going to go ahead and continue to move out. Now already getting the siege tanks. One of the things I also like to do now is I like to double up my supply depots over here on this front door, especially with the way that Zerg has been able to bust through with Banelings. However, I think Banelings are the splash radius on a Banelings, the structure attack is able to take down multiple supply depots, and I think that's one of the things that Terran, or that really needs to be changed. The splash range on a splashing Baneling shouldn't be that far. In come a couple of these Immortals now trying to pull back once again. Now grabbing a siege tank onto that high ledge, want to get in a couple hits. Those Marauders now pulling back away, not wanting to sit on that ledge. Marauders need to really get into this position. I don't position those Marauders very well, but still, we're just going to be able to walk up with this very, very large force. My army is sitting at 2150, Echuchee's down to 375, and then this massive amount of Marauders coming in to finish off this game. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. This is pretty much going to be the conclusion of this game here on Lost Temple. I'm trying to find some higher level replays that I've been recently playing, but I've been having a lot of hard time with Zerg and Protoss recently, so don't really have that many interesting games to show you at this stage. Bnetisjewish now finally lifting off that command center, and SCV is now getting taken down very, very easily by these those Marauder SCVs, and need to try to head back down and off of that ramp to the choke point. And Cheetah has finally left the game, so that is the end of the game. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Just a quick 2v2 matchup here with my partner Echuchee on Lost Temple.